Good afternoon, wherever you are. Today, I'm really doing this impromptu from my heart, and in one way, what I'm going to bring up today is really vulnerable, and I feel embarrassed about it. I feel almost a bit like ashamed because it's like shouldn't you have figured all this out? I mean, thinking about the work you're doing, Rita, and this is exactly why I'm jumping on here today. I also want to just share with you that before I jumped on right now, I was even debating with myself, should I just record it and run it as a live later? And yes, you know what? You can do that. You can record it and it looks like it's running live, but actually it's not live. So I said, okay, if I'm going to lean into this fully on my edge, I get to show up just like that. No planning, no whatever, polishing. I want to share with you something that I experienced last week. So, last week I was part of 4PC, which is a mastermind of 30 extraordinary leaders coming from around the world. And I'm one of them, right? But as I am there, I feel like such an imposter. I feel small, I feel triggered, I feel I'm not good enough. Look at all the others. And I even I even ended up in a situation where I took a picture of myself, and some of you might saw this on the newsletter I shared on Monday. But I took a picture of myself as a note to self, because on the outside it looked like I've got all my whatever shit together, but on the inside I felt so small, insignificant, and scared. What is it that I was scared of, or what is it that I felt triggered by? Well, my trigger was that I was surrounded by also many powerful women that I highly admire. And I have something inside of me from experiences from growing up. And, girls can be quite mean. And that created a fear in me of not really being good enough. And I always need to kind of show to prove myself. And that can also lead to feeling like an imposter when I am in that room with all these women. So that's basically what showed up for me then. The beauty of the power of the group and what we're doing is to reveal those fears, because the room is safe. And if we cannot be brave enough to share those things in a room that is safe, that we know that if even somebody come up to me and say, Rita, I am so triggered when I see you. I have this sensation that I don't like you. I know that that is because there's something in my looks that is triggering them. It's not because they know me. It's not because this is who I am. I know that. So I was very openly sharing this. For me, it was interesting to go back and experience this because I am a leader. I work also with powerful leaders, like the others in the group as well, also being vulnerable, also sharing. They are also working with very powerful leaders. For me, I get to work with women who are on the mission to solve some of the biggest problems in this world. And that is where my own insight, my own aha becomes so powerful. Because when I experience this in the midst of kind of my craft, because I'm being triggered by other people and things that is reminding me of, it's like I'm suddenly back and being 9 years ago. The same happens for my clients. And I know for a fact that some of you listening to this know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to share something that happened to me yesterday. As many of you who are following me know, I use LinkedIn a lot. I love LinkedIn. I show up. I do my thing. And because I'm part of this group of extraordinary leaders, that I need to remind myself that I am also part of that. I'm not just an outsider coming in, I'm a part of it. Suddenly, I got worried. I got concerned of what if whatever I post isn't good enough? What if I look that I'm not smart enough? And yesterday, I hold myself back from showing up on a platform that I'm so used to showing up on. It's where I play. It's where I communicate with you. I held myself back. And I was thinking, where else in my life do I play small because of the same fear? It's easier to hide. It's easier to, one of the other triggers for me is like, don't take up too much space, Rita. Don't take up too much space. Don't be too loud. I'm thinking, where is that holding me back? So today I said, no, I'm not allowing that to hold me back. Just as when I get to work with so many of the incredibly powerful women, we get to go deep down on that exact thing. What is the deep rooted actual fear that is blocking you from using your voice and speaking your truth into this world? Why you're tolerating being on the level you are? Because deep down you're scared of speaking it out loud. So like for me, it is this deep down rooted fear of not being good enough. I get to know my triggers. So when I grew up, my mom was always reading everywhere. So I have a love for reading. I've been reading for as long as I can remember. And there are two versions of love for reading. One is because it makes me feel so excited. I get to learn. It makes me grow. But there's a dark side of it. And the dark side is I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I need to know more. And the constant consumption of reading and reading and reading and reading, coming from a place of not feeling good enough. Does this resonate with you? Do you ever feel that you are holding yourself either back from doing something, or you are literally on speed because you feel that if I stop, I'm going to miss out on something and that will make me look stupid. I need to know everything. Do you find yourself something nodding in agreement in the room, and when you actually have no clue what they're talking about, and you feel inside that I should know that? Yeah. These are the things that when I get to experience this for myself, I want to share with all of you that what you see on the outside, whether that is me or somebody else who looks like they've got it all together, it's not true. We all have our things on the inside. I got to witness that so powerfully with 4PC in Lake Como last week, 5 days intensive. That on the outside, everyone are like, for me, wow, extraordinary leaders. And on the inside, when we are sharing, what I don't want you to know about me is, and there are fears showing up, of not being good enough, of being small, being inadequate, being too this, too that, too loud, too quiet, being confused. Who am I? Wanting to fit in. So I just felt called to go on camera today and share that. For me, it is again important because many of you have heard me express, I cannot go deeper with a client than I have gone myself. I cannot be an enabler to cracking the root cause of something unless I've cracked and discovered my own thing. Does it mean that everything is disappearing, that everything is going away? Oh no, absolutely. Like last week, it wasn't like, oh, now all my fears are away and woo, I'm feeling super cool with other powerful women. No, absolutely no. It's still there. It's so ingrained in me. And what I know is that on the other side of that fear is where exponential growth exists. When we look where we don't want to look, we shine light on something that we don't know is the actual root cause for holding ourselves back. We might wrap it in and we might say, oh, it's because I'm working in a setting with only men and I feel triggered. It's masculine. It's this, it's that. Does that impact? 100%. 100%. And we get to have more power back in our life when we also start looking at where is it in particular that I am triggered, that in this environment I feel belittled, I feel that I'm not seen, I feel that I'm heard but not listened to. What is it? Because that the systems around are broken? Absolutely. And we are invited to take charge of our own lives. That is the beauty of it. There is a saying, we know, be the change you want to see in the world. I have witnessed firsthand working with these amazing women who have this vision, but there's one thing standing in the way. They're tolerating playing small because something inside is telling them that is how I'm supposed to operate. And when we shine the light on that dark side or the shadow side, and when we start to get familiar with it and dare to lean into it, energy can get back in, right? And when you got energy back, now you can create, because creation comes from this expanded level. So I wanted to share that with all of you. I am really curious what is showing up for you if you're listening on a replay. You might not want to necessarily comment directly or publicly. So please, I invite you to send a comment on DM directly to me. Because this is really important. I feel very called to share this today because I've been sitting with it and triggered, and actually just shared the message with the group that I so admire, of how being in the midst of these extraordinary people, I feel smaller and lesser, knowing that it has nothing to do with them. It's not them making me feel like that. It's the inside being triggered and activated, and I get to have a look at it, right? Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. And with that, I wish you a beautiful weekend coming up, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Jumping on impromptu, whenever, or planned. But I look forward to hearing from you and whatever comments you have. Okay, so bye for now.